All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Shel. My name is Shel Anderson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I do short lunch break with Shel video tutorials Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Standard Time, as well as I do stamp therapy with Shel Sundays at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to do some simple, quick, easy, beautiful cards. I am going to be using the Bright and Beautiful DSP as well as the Merry, Bold, and Bright DSP. I'm going to be using the More Wishes stamp set as well as the Wanted to Say dies. So we're going to get started right off the hop. For my first card, my card base is basic white, and this is the Bright and Beautiful DSP. Our card base is a standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. To that, I am going to add a piece of the Bright and Beautiful DSP. Now, if you don't have the DSP, if you want cardstock, just make these your own. These are intended to be quick, simple, easy, fun, stress-free, and beautiful cards. Next up, I have another piece of the DSP. This one is 4 1/4 by 3, and this one is 4 by 2 3/4. We are going to layer these two together for our focal image. One thing to note when you're making cards with multiple layers, DSP weighs less than cardstock does. So if you have 5 or 6 or 7 layers on your card, you might want to consider putting, and you're mailing your card, you might want to consider putting some DSP on there. I got a little smudge or something. I'm going to find my sticker piercer. There's one. There we go. So now this is going to go down here, centered on the front. But before we do that, I want to add some ribbon. So I have pulled out the Azure Afternoon color, and we are going to add some ribbon. Now I need some tear and tape, and I'm going to be smart this time and cut this in half. I'm going to put half on this side and the other half on this side and wrap it around to the back. That will leave me a split in the middle. Here's my silicone mat. A split in the middle so that I have a gap to run another little wee piece in there. Alright, so I've got my tape exposed, and we're going to run this gorgeous ribbon across there, and then around to the back side. Beautiful. Now for some dimension, we are going to pop this up on dimensionals before we add it to our card front. And because this is DSP, I am being extremely generous with my dimensionals because I don't want it to not be popped up in all areas. So we'll just use the piercer, or take your pick tool to remove the backings. And then we will center this up on our bright and cheery card base, like so. Now we'll just take this, and that little gap allows us to slide that through there. And make a little knot. Easy, eh? And we just trim our tails and we're done. See how that little wee bit of ribbon just brightens that card up? Just gonna put my elastics back on to my ribbon spools so they don't unwind on me in my drawer. Okay, now we're gonna set this aside for a minute. And I have the dies from the Wanted to Say bundle, or sorry, Wanted to Say dies, and I have chosen Happy Birthday. So we are going to get our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss to work here today, and I'm going to do the shadow portion in white cardstock. And then I'm going to do the front layer in Azure Afternoon. So, put the wrong plate down there. All right, 1, 2, 3, and plate. There we go. And we're off to the races. Made short work of that, eh? All right, we'll put this aside for a minute or two, and I'm going to put my dies away before I lose them. There we go. All right, now let's untangle this little mess and find my pick tool. What did I do with my pick tool? I had it here this morning. Oh, there it is, right in front of my face. We are going to poke out these little letters. Now you can use your die brush if you want, but these ones aren't too difficult. Oops, you can hang on to what that is. Happy birthday. Isn't that pretty? Love that azure color, it's so bright. And then over here we have the white shadow. And I'm going to grab my tiny glue dispenser. I didn't want to do that. So we'll spread that around as best we can. Little dots here and there. And so I've got my finger instead of the cardstock. Alright. What did I do with my silicone mat? There we go. Let's flip this over and pop this in place. See how that white background just makes it pop? We're going to do the same thing with the birthday. There we go. Flip it over. And plop that in place. Plop is such a technical term, eh? All right, I want to wipe off this glue bottle and put my lid back on so it doesn't get clogged. Now we're going to bring our happy card back in, and we're going to put this right here on the front of our card. I think I might use dimensionals now that I think about that. Let me grab some. And my pick tool again. Oops. Come on. There we go. I got them all stuck to my fingers. Happy birthday. How pretty is that? Alright, easy peasy. Let's find some pretty embellishments. What am I going to put on here? I wonder if we have anything azure-ish. In color pearls, iridescent discs. Those are not going to work. Oh, what's this? Nope. I don't see anything here that's going to work. Oh, maybe these. I'll just pull them all out. It'll give us some things to choose from. This is the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And this is the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. So we could either use the pink here or the pink here, and then I chose glossy dots, but I don't think those ones are gonna work. I'm thinking I'm gonna use these dark blue ones. That's what I'm gonna use on this card. Let me grab my pick tool, and we will put a big one up there. And a big one down there, and a little one right there. And that, my friends, is our stress-free, easy, beautiful card. Isn't that pretty? Now you could pretty up the inside if you wanted. For the purpose of today's video, I did not do that. So that's the Tinsel Gems 4-pack that I used. All right. We are going to move on to our second card. This one follows the same measurements as the last one. White card base. This time I'm using the Merry, Bold, and Bright DSP. This is such fun paper. It is part of the ones with the light bulbs. I don't have it. Can you tell? I just have the paper. What is the name of that suite? I have to look it up because it's going to drive me crazy. It's right at the front. It is Merry and Bright Suite. This is the paper that I'm using today. All right. And just like before, same measurements. Only this time I used a piece of cardstock instead of back side of a DSP. I like to use the scraps in my scrap bin as much as possible. Now, same thing with this one. I am going to put a ribbon on here. And this one is going to be real red. And I think I'm just going to wrap this one around and tie it. Now, let's see how much of a mess I make of this on camera. Did you ever notice that when you're trying to do something and somebody's watching you, you always mess up? Just like that. It's not tight enough. All right, let's take this off of here and start again. To be honest with you, that is why I do the, like I did on the first card with the tear and tape. That's what I'm going to do. Because the reason I do that is so that I don't mess it up like that. So we're going to put this ribbon across here. And I'm going to leave a break. And across, oops, come on. Stuck to my fingers. And we'll wrap it around. That is exactly why I do it this way, is because I don't want to mess up on camera, just like I did. This way it's foolproof. And press that in place, wrap it around the back side, and trim off the excess. Just like that. Off my finger. And now we'll do the knot. Maybe. There you are. Boom. Oops, that didn't trim very well. I wanted that on an angle. There we have it. Tail needs trimmed a little more. It's too long compared to the other one. All right. Now we're going to flip it over and we are going to add some dimensionals. There we go. Ease up those edges. And peel off all of those backings. And pop this in the middle. Somewhere about there. All right, now for this one, we need some cardstock. And I have a piece of scrap here. I am going to do this set is so fun because it has large, bold fonts as well as actually I think I'm going to do it the other way. No, we'll do it this way. As well as written fonts, so you can mix them up. Like you could do Merry Christmas in the big bold font, or you could mix them, and that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix them. All right, I need a block. Blocky, blocky, block. Do the Christmas first. And I'm going to use real red. Real red for my Christmas. I should clean this stamp because I've never used it. Today is a first, so we're going to give this a good rub to make sure that there's no residue on there from when they made it. And now we will give it an ink. And see if I can stamp straight. Give that a moment. Beautiful. I don't know where I put my chamois. I got this ugly old rag, but whatever works. All right, stick that on the stamp case and we will pick up the Mary. And I think this one we are going to do in what color? What color? What color? I think we're going to do it in Misty Moonlight. I know this is Night of Navy, but I find Night of Navy is really, really, really dark. Too dark for me. So, beautiful. Stick that on the stamp case and we are golden. All right, now I just have to cut this out. I'm going to bring in my little mini paper trimmer. And I am going to attempt to cut this out straight. No promises. Nope. There we go. And I want to mat that. So let's take these measurements. So this needs to be 3. Right there. Let's check that. Yep. And then bueno, that'll do. Let me take a little smudge off this side. There we go. Now we're going to get some adhesive and put this together. Just like so. And then we're going to put this up on here on dimensionals. And one for good measure. Take off the paper backings, maybe. There we go. And pop this in place. Isn't that pretty? Now for this one, I think we are just going to use rhinestones. That has enough happening already. We don't need to go crazy. I am just going to pop rhinestone here or there. Just like so. That will do. And that is our second card, my friends. Same layout as the first, same measurements. The only change was in the greeting. Okay? So, I hope you enjoyed this little video today. I hope you give it a try. Use up some of your DSP. As you can tell, the DSP does all the work for us. All we need to do is add a greeting and a little bit of embellishment. Have a good day, my friends. Bye-bye.